I was pregnant, I was doing the weather, which means I couldn't hide behind a desk. I know, I heard that gasp, Colleen. Basically, I blocked most of Ireland and half of Wales. Look at the size of me. That was with Finley. I'm pretty sure that was with Finley.
That's actually quite a good photo because
I
used to turn the weather on every day just to gasp at you.
I know.
Because it was like the rest of you is really similar. It came out like that.
I looked like Mr. Greedy. You know, it literally looked like the baby was lying that way rather than that way. It completely came out. When I had said to my boss that I was leaving, I think I left about a week before, he said, thank God for that. Most of Ireland have complained and Wales are starting to mutter.
I had 2 pregnancies when I was doing Birds of a Feather, and obviously Daryl's in prison, so how can Tracy get pregnant?
I must have loved you.
I did, and I was quite heavily pregnant as well, I think with Louis in particular, and they just got me big jumpers and I'd have a big bag over my shoulder.
How much weight did you put on?
4 stone with one of them. 4 stone with Louis, because I packed up smoking as well, so I just kept eating all the time. But they'd have me sitting down all the time, or I'd have this big shopping bag, or I don't think they were very pleased about it, but what could they do?
So I was kind of one of these people who was watching every month and kind of hoping it would be this month and everything. And I remember actually I was doing some other television programme, and I was in Boreham Wood, of all places.
Wow.
And I nipped out in my lunch hour because I thought maybe. And I went round about 3 chemists to buy I was embarrassed to buy a pregnancy test. I was hoping I was pregnant. I was 36 years of age and I was embarrassed to buy a pregnancy test. A bit odd. And I actually chose my assistant, you know, made a big fuss about it. Bought it, went back to the hotel. And yes, I was, and I was just genuinely thrilled. But I was twice your age, for goodness sake.
I hated being pregnant. But when you've been pregnant 5 times, it doesn't become enjoyable. But my worst pregnancy was Jet. For some reason, I was massive. No, look, I bloomed. Oh my God, I didn't really have makeup. I'd just come back from holiday. Anyway, I would just look at that and moan, ugly, disgusting, horrible. I have to look at that. That is awful.
Pregnant, so
I hated it. I covered up all the time. Yet all the other babies, I didn't mind showing the bump at all.
Did you not put any weight on with the other babies?
No, I wore the same clothes, literally, with my jeans. I didn't even buy any new clothes. Only with Jet I did.
I used to
put
like
a
you.
baby what is it, like a bobble through my buttons of my jeans, and that's all I did because I
got
under
so
the bum.
fat when I was pregnant. I put on 4 stone
That's
with
what I was
each
like,
baby.
Jet.
But no, honestly,
Oh, no, I did.
looked like I'd eaten you when I was pregnant.
Was your mum absolutely desperate for you to have a grandchild, to give her a grandchild?
Oh, my God. It was like, time's ticking. Time's ticking, Martine. When's it going to happen? You've met the right man now. When's it going to happen? I was like, all right, Mum, no pressure. And then when I was pregnant, she knew. I hadn't even told her.
Told her, yeah.
Yeah, before I even told her, she walked in the door and she was like, hi. And I was like, hi. She went, how are you? I went, fine, thanks. Want a cup of tea? Yeah. And she's looking at me like this. And I walked to the kitchen and she went, you got something to tell me? And I went, no. And she went, are you sure? And I went, how do you know? She went, you're pregnant, aren't you? And I went, yeah. And she just knew. And she went, Alan! That's my stepdad. The baby's having a baby!
I loved being pregnant, but of course, being pregnant in the 60s, very different. I mean, I know a lot of the girls here will recognise this. We used to go and buy big maternity smocks, you know, and I would save up all my money. We didn't have much money, but I'd save it up to go to a posh shop so that I could have really good maternity clothes. And one of them I loved it so much. Believe it or not, I had it all taken in and wore it after me. But actually, Lee, one of our makeup guys, he told me a great story. He's one of a family of 10. And he said, as children, when the smock came out, when his mum appeared in the smock, they'd all say, oh, Mum must be pregnant again.
I always remember growing up and my mum regaling this story about when she was pregnant with me. She went to the doctors and she asked whether she could drink. He said, well, as long as you're not drinking any more than you've ever drunk before, then you can carry on drinking that same amount. So I carried on drinking 3/4 bottle of Beaujolais every night. So I'm like, thanks, Mum. So I kind of grew up with that sort of in my head, that it's kind of all right to though we do often laugh as a family whether my hyperactivity has anything to do with that, with the fact. And then when I was pregnant,
Blame her.
yeah,
The Beaujolais' fault.
yeah, and then when I was pregnant, I mean, the chief medical officers now recommend abstain completely from alcohol. But I'm pretty sure when I was pregnant, there was something around 1 to 2 units a week.
That's right, yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, if somebody drinks and there's a loophole, they jump in the loophole.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed to say I got in the loophole.
Well, I was 17 when I found out I was pregnant, which isn't ideal. It's not what I was planning. And I didn't know till I was really late. I think I was in the 20s, like 22 weeks or something. Wow. I don't know whether that's because I was blissfully ignorant or in denial, or I just had no idea. But I ended up going into a restaurant, meeting my mum, my stepmum and dad for lunch and being like, oh, it stinks of onions in here. And neither of them were eating onions. I think someone like 5 doors down had some onions in their salad, and my stepmum immediately made me take a pregnancy test, and it turned out positive, and I was just devastated. I'd just started college. That was my first boyfriend. I mean, you don't think, oh, I'll be with this person for the rest of my life. And yeah, and there I was, so far pregnant that when I actually considered having an abortion because I felt that I was too young to have the baby. And when I got there, and my mum was in the room with me, standing behind the monitor where they scan you to see what stage the baby's at, and her face, just knowing that there was a human inside of me and watching my mum's face look at the monitor and she was distraught, meant that I couldn't go through with it. And because I was so far gone, it just felt like I found out I was pregnant, didn't get an abortion, and then bam, there I was in labour. Yeah. It just happened really quickly.
No time to wait. So 22 weeks, it's a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
To find out that. I mean, goodness
What was
me.
the rest of that pregnancy like then?
I just didn't even know it. I didn't have any time to process it. It flew by. I then went from this girl who just got a boyfriend and just started having a sexual relationship to opening my legs to the entire world and having a human being come out of me. And, just all the disgusting stuff like the stitches and the vomiting. Oh my God, it was horrendous.
Hackney Empire, I did a panto there, Dick Whittington, and I was supposed to play Alice Fitzwarren, the romantic lead, but I was 9 months pregnant, so they trained me to fairy Bow
Dick Whittington's been rather busy.
It was so funny because me and Pauline were in it, and she was the Wicked Witch and I was Fairy Bow Bells, and our dressing room at the Hackney Empire has all been done up since then, but it was quite decrepit in those days, and the toilet was like about 5 floors up. So in the end, me and Pauline used to get a bucket and have a wee in the corner of the dressing room because I couldn't move. I was like 4
And did you have a massive tutu as well, like a fairy tutu?
Yeah, like a big fairy outfit and that. And then one day, Lauren and Emily came to our dressing room and they went to do a wee in the bucket. We went, no, you've got to go to the toilet. So I was due to have Louis on the 10th. I finished the panto on the 6th and I didn't have him until the 20th. And they kept saying to me, you could have done another week.
The night before my sister got married, I found out I was pregnant. It was the afternoon before. I thought I was travel sick because my dad, his driving always makes me feel really pukey. And then I kind of put 2 and 2 together, and ladies, when you're pregnant, you know this, I kind of went, actually, my boobs feel funny, I think. And so I went into the chemist, went into a department store, did the test there while we were running around. So I found out and didn't say anything to anybody. Because it was her big day, you know. I could have gone, ta-da, guess what?
No, I didn't win the Australian Open when I was pregnant, but I remember I just suddenly became seized with the urge to pass my motorbike test. Most people eat coal.
I was going to say.
And I was just like, no, I want to pass my motorbike test. So there I was 4 months pregnant.
What had made you want to do that?
I don't know. Well, I remember I was in LA on a job, and I remember seeing this woman who looked like Pamela Anderson sitting on a Harley Davidson, and they don't need to wear, I don't know if they still do, but then they didn't need to wear helmets, and her hair was flowing, and I thought, I want to be that woman. So I came home, you know, it wasn't quite the same on a moped round Weybridge, I think.
On
I
a
was
wet
like,
Wednesday.
with a big old belly, but yeah, passed my motorbike test, and there you go.
I absolutely loved being pregnant.
So
you could eat loads and loads and loads.
Yes, but I've always liked myself.
I love myself.
What bit is yourself?
Well, anyway. My heart is myself.
Exactly.
That's
still real.
Banter.
Yeah.